Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, The New Order, Last Days of Europe as a Komi. Now, in the last video, oh boy, the elections, they're coming up. The center is fucked, more than likely. And, yeah, it's not looking good for these guys. It's looking good for us, though, because we kind of want to, push them over the edge, figuratively. So we're moving back on. We're back at it, like a crack addict. Mr. Black Magic. That's all I know. That's all I could recite to you out of the top of my head. Anything else, you guys probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But, hey, what's she gonna do, you know? That was Tom's doing. The Humanist have won. Shout out to my old LP as the Humanist. That was a fun campaign when I could, stay as them. When I didn't know how the mechanics worked, so I swapped to, I think it was Modernists. Which wasn't too bad either. That was okay. So 1963 assembly, with some election day preparations. An election is not something that can be organized on the spot, even if radicals believe otherwise. We must now begin the process of readying the poll booths, sending out flyers, organizing locations, and more of a standard procedure that bores our legislators to no end. As usual, we will call up ready volunteers to do their duty to democracy and do these tasks for us. And in all, of course, we must also be aware of the radicals, for their ideas of preparation is something much more sinister. Oh yeah, so, the left is just overwhelmingly powerful. Like, it's not even arguable. We are, well, they are dominating. We aren't them yet. So I should watch my words a bit more carefully. Support weapons. I'm trying to think what we can do right now, other than wait. Which, I'm okay with waiting at this point. It's not the worst thing to do. Let me see that flag. I don't think I've seen this flag before, at least in that much detail. That's a pretty neat flag, actually. Nova Polska. Whoa, Vyatka. What the fuck did you just say to me, you little bitch? Well, these guys get a bit more, org. Will not back down so easily. The time has come to prepare for our elections, and a lot has to be done. We have to make sure we do it right. Polling booths will need to be set up, and counters will need to be hired. We must ensure the election day goes as planned. Of course, we present with a few options, make it easier by using up registration. However, that can cost giving opposition radicals too much power. Could be safer to invest in voter suppression in pillarized neighborhoods. Okay, I'm trying to think. Increase the power of the center a bit, I guess. We'll campaign for the PSD while we're here. Strengthen it to loosen the center up a bit. Watch for radicals. Radicals never believed in the democratic process, even if they say otherwise. While they have been rather quiet in the days leading up to the election, it's always possible that they may come out of the shadows at any time. The chess masters either on either side still have aces up their sleeves, and there's no telling exactly what they have in store. We'll see what happens. Yeah, get out of here. Are you against the Order of St. George, you say? Why can't we do that? Why did you give me that offer and not allow me to seize the opportunity to? We'll suppress the right in a sec, too. Just do our damnedest to fuck with people. Anyone who's right of Bukharina can go right to fucking hell. How about that? Okay, they're going after Novosibirsk and Altai. Of course they fucking are. And are they about to fucking lose? Like they always fucking do? Plant a bug in Shafarvik's home. Yeah. And we'll ensure internal stability. In recent days, it's been reported our party is a mess in certain areas, such as the fact that hot debates can over sometimes trivial things can run hot and wild between our deputies, as well as growing factionalism and refusal of cooperation between party members. While normally this has been allowed under the perpetrator's defense of freedom of oppression and expression, the upcoming election is one of the most critical in our history, and the Democratic Party cannot permit these problems any longer. Through distinct methods, we will ensure that everyone sits down and shuts up, united as one party. No longer shall the chamber erupt into argument every other speech, and no longer shall we tolerate the cracks beneath our wings. We shall be one, together. For we must be, for the radicals shall come as one as well. Okay, suppress the right. Here we go now. Commies in the Levant. I swear like I always see this. Mm-hmm. Oh. Kaya. Kishi's pal. Mm-hmm. Alright, so we gotta load this in. Next we'll do... I don't know what many of these mean. Looks better than what might otherwise be. I can't speak. We'll protect the people. I'll pause because I've started uploading the other series right now. I'm guessing if you saw that already, you've already seen this. If not, you can go and watch that if you want me to read it. For now, we'll get some land forts. And the senator will increase by a little bit, but might just save up on power. Except for looting. Any opportunity to loot McScoot, that's worth doing. Kemerovo versus Krasnoyarsk. Okay. Well, I was about to say, I will see how this ends up going. How's Magadan doing? They might win against Timur. Protect the people. Same idea over here, calculate the bombing intervals. Let's go. I swear to fucking Christ. If both major AI unifiers in this region lose, I'm gonna break a gasket. Okay. Kemerovo is doing better. So after Kemerovo, it's Krasnoyarsk. And then they can choose from there, it seems. Right. Calculate the bombing intervals. Alright, so. Now comes the time to debate the location where the polling places should be. There are many safe locations where the polling booths would fit right in. We can make some strategic mistakes and place polling places in disagreeable neighborhoods. No, that hurts us too much. Everyone deserves to vote safely, especially if they don't like the Democrats. Research facilities. We'll do that. Because we need to get some upticks on everything, I think. And then we got into the unknown. I'll read this one. Months of rigorous preparation, days of campaigning, enjoy it or dread it, participation in it or flee from it. The election comes to all the same. Now comes the trial of democracy and the ruling of it. Each and every preparation that we have done for this event will now either pay off or let us down. This critical election decides our fate in the future. Some doubt our chance, and others want us dead. But no matter what happens, democracy will always prevail in the end. I feel like I just want to start playing the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song. Just do 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 do. Because I don't want to spoil things, folks, but I think democracy might be dead coming up. Oh, Cheetah's coming in to try to pick out, the remains. Will they cuck Magadan out of this? That's the question. Probably not. I think Cheetah might get cucked. And, or they might cuck Magadan. Oop. Violence at the polls. We've received news of severe violence erupting in many of our polling locations. In total, 3 people have been killed and 19 have been wounded by paramilitary violence. This started to discourage many other voters, and some of our polling places are even closing down. It's not known if communist or fascist paramilitaries that carried out attacks. It very well could be both of them. If our goal was to scare voters, it's definitely working. Although this does not mean they are scaring away our voters. Unfortunately, it does not bode well for our election process, and we may see much less voting than expected. Paramilitary threats combined with the fears of German bombers, even after all the efforts we took in keeping polling places safe, have influenced many in their decision not to participate. Unacceptable. Ooh. More violence has begun to pick up as more agitators are taking to the streets. We have information that these are leftist extremists who are protesting our actions in the election. They are claiming that we have illegally taken action against their movement and against the democratic process. Now, these anarchists have begun causing large amounts of damage, and conflict between the agitators and police have grown. The leftist paramilitaries have even gone as far as preemptively declaring the election as rigged, even though not every vote has not even been counted. This asserts the legitimacy of our elections, as it appears we are deliberately trying to secure our power. Whether this has any impact on our government remains to be seen. Our police continue to try and keep this violence at a minimum, but it appears the violence will only keep growing until the elections are over and the government secures its power. When can this election be over already? That's a nasty hit to stab, but we gotta go with it. So, from what I remember last time, it was just like, oh, violence is up on the uptick. Actually, now it's on the downtick, but now it's, left-wing fascists fucking around at, across the country and screwing with the process. Where have I heard that before? Ha ha ha. For the record, I'm gonna make that, I'm gonna try to remember to make that same joke for the right-wing episode, because you could probably, you can argue the same thing, so I'm not trying to play partisan politics or sides. Alright. Despite it all, Wisniewski stood before the legislature as president once more. Was it because of a desire not to deserve Komi's fragile peace? Or was it because of some hidden quality Wisniewski possessed that made him stand above the other candidates? Either way, Wisniewski was now president once more, given an inaugural speech before the legislature once more. For his speech, Wisniewski laid out his plans for Komi's future. Do I want to read this? I don't know why. I'm getting tired right now, and it's not even... It's a little past 11, actually, but... Oh, fuck it. I'll go on. My fellow citizens of the Republic, we must seek unity, not strife. Our Republic must stand strong and unite against those who would seek to destroy it, whether these threats come from without or within. We must stand united under the banner of democracy. We must stand strong against under the banner of Marx. The DSMP and myself seek the establishment of socialism within the Republic, and during my second term we will continue to prepare Komi for its transition towards socialism. Under our party, Komi has seen remarkable progress, and continuation of our programs can only further improve in Komi. In order to make it truly great, we must stand against factionalism, stand against those who wish to divide us. We must stand against subversion and bloodshed. We must stand together for Komi. We must stand for the Republic. While starting a passionate speech, some critics are worried that this means President V wishes to simply stay his previous path, and are worried that Komi is destined for yet more scandals and yet more corruption. The people have spoken. The results of the election are in. Our Democratic coalition has been declared the victors, but there are not enough seats in the legislature to form a majority. The leftists have also become a huge power after the election, and they almost eclipse the entire government. We're stuck in minority rule, forced to cooperate with the leftist radicals. This makes it much harder for us to actually move forward with our agenda. With large leftist opposition, we'll have to appease the far left if we wish to do anything. So make it much more difficult to stabilize the government after the election turmoil. Some of the new legislators were even caught during the election alongside paramilitaries and militias. There's no doubt that the far left now has considerable power, but it wasn't a total loss, right? Right? Just wait. Oh, we might have to wait a bit, actually. Shit. Ooh. It appears we have seriously underestimated how dangerous our current situation is. Protests and riots have been expanding as our police force cannot handle the growing number of people protesting our actions. There are also reports of far-left attacks on our garrisons. Paramilitaries and militias from far left have even gone into several armed conflicts within our military. With the chaos growing, we are beginning to suspect an incoming radical leftist coup. The information we have within the leftist party's reports plans to storm government offices, and quite possibly the legislature. We have even detailed information on the movement of weapons and possibly parts of military planning treason. We must act before everything gets out of control, but we have no idea what to do or who to trust. Even our informants are sending mixed messages. For a large possibility of disloyal sections of a military supporting our coup, we must secure government buildings. If the leftists could strike at any moment, we might not have much time. So we have 60 days to stabilize our force. So this opens up a little bit of a focus tree where we can do our damnedest to try and stabilize our republic. So that's what? 15, 35, 55, 60 days of focuses. And so, the most likely threat comes from the left wing. The left wing is currently extremely threatening. The left wing is currently in power. The right wing is currently non-threatening. So if we don't do anything, we will the Suslevite elements will overthrow the government. We'll get critical instability, which gives us some just not nice stuff. So what do we want to do? Damn, they're not even done yet, and you're already trying to cuck them out of more of a land. God damn, Cheetah. After counting every vote, it turns out the Democrats have received a plurality of the vote. More surprising to Komi citizens, it seems that the moderates have decided to go it alone. A clear majority of the delegates, the resulting government is destined to be an extremely weak one, yet the parties of the center-left to center-right decided to gamble that neither the far left nor the far right would dare to cause a vote of no confidence so soon after elections. Perhaps the far left and far right militias will at least give the government a month to live. Probably not. We'll do this just to get the extra PP. And from here... Okay, Magadan versus Cheetah. Let me check. Infantry equipment, anti-tank, artillery support equipment. Try getting some guns from Zlatovsk. Hopefully that won't bite us in the ass. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not worrying about, you know, suppressing these people. What? Oh! We actually got the equipment. Very nice. God damn, yeah, that was very nice indeed. Better guns? Perhaps. Let's do it. What's our focus? Payments to Zlatost. Okay, we have to wait until October 19th. Which hopefully... Ooh! Okay. Residents of Central Syktyvkar were brutally awakened last night by the sounds of yelling and breaking glass as members of a left-wing paramilitary waged an all-out attack on a local police station. According to witness reports, the incident occurred shortly after midnight. Somewhere between 15 and 25 masked youths armed with bricks and batons stormed the station, breaking windows and assaulting the outnumbered officers. 2 officers were hospitalized, but the attackers ignored non-police personnel. Owing to the time, the station was significantly understaffed. Investigators believe the operation was meticulously planned to maximize the chances of success. The instigators successfully fled the scene, but the 2 were recognized by neighbors and subsequently brought into custody. The police have identified them as Anatoly S. and Bogdan P., members of Workers' Streets Battalion, a local ultra-left paramilitary loosely connected to the Communist Party. Both refused to assist officers with the investigation, judging by the coordinated nature of the operation and members' discipline. The possibility exists that this attack was ordered by party higher-ups as a show of force, rather than an impulsive move by leftist, radical lone wolves. Officer down. Scavenge some more. I might just... I don't think I can deploy this unit quite yet, but... if I could, I might, just so we can prepare to send them up. Yeah, well, Kemerovo has one. Tomsk is going to lose. I will feel embarrassed for Tomsk. For them. At first, there were only scattered reports. Right-wing paramilitary leaders attacked in their home, businesses broken into in the dead of night, their inventories seized, and proletariat expropriations, mass spontaneous rallies against the police, with more officers temporarily pushed out of entire neighborhoods. As more and more incidents wreck Syktyvkar, the communist threat is becoming increasingly clear. There's been an undeniable upward trend in leftist violence in recent days. We have a crisis on our hands. The communists have always been a major element in Syktyvkar's street politics. But the political turmoil of the past few weeks has given them an opportunity to drastically expand their operations. In the face of democratic failures, their support has grown and radicalized. A sizable amount of the leftist fringe has been violent in the past, but its audacity of these new attacks on Komi's elite and government is unprecedented. As they might say, we are rapidly approaching a revolutionary situation. While their challenges to our authority are disturbing, the communists have not made their overt threats to the Presidium as of yet. Vigilance is necessary, but must be careful not to overstep our bounds, lest we give an excuse to escalate tensions to the breaking point. So it looks like we can withdraw forces, and that'll increase our legitimacy decay rate. Oh, if our legitimacy reaches 0, we'll be unable to maintain control, and a coup will be carried out. So it's not just if this goes down all the way. It'll also be, well, just very, very soon. We're speedrunning a coup, boys. Oh, Hitler's dead. A relatively calm day in the city of Syktyvkar and the Republic's government was suddenly interrupted as the supporters of left gathered around Suslov and turned Komi's political landscape upside down by launching a coup. Early in the morning, increased activity left its paramilitary units was reported, but no one could expect what happened next. Receiving orders from the puppet master of the left, hundreds of fully equipped and well-trained troops converge on the capital of our republic. Heading for the government building and the National Assembly itself, they met almost no resistance. Many were arrested, from prominent political opponents to right-wing sympathizers or even normal citizens. In the end, the troops reached their final destination, the legislative building of the Republic. At gunpoint, all members of paramilitary, bar the most loyal Suslovites, were swiftly arrested by the military, and the government government body, effectively under the control of the Pushites, was forced to obey their orders. The Constitution of the Komi Republic has been declared no longer effective, and a new constitution has been hastily drafted, marking the official creation of the Komi Socialist Republic. As for its leader, it is not the puppet master Suslov himself. Instead, Boris Ponomarov, well known as the most trusted ally, has been appointed Secretary General. Suslov himself is merely the premier of the Republic, preferring to control the new regime from behind the scenes. Whether the socialist experiment will succeed in Komi remains to be seen, but first, the Suslovite clique has now seized control. We'll need to properly assert it over the country. Resistance from the center and right will be at a disadvantage, as they now have to become insurgents against the authoritarian government. The next days will be crucial for Komi's state. More instability to be expected from here. Communist Party takes control of the Republic. Right, Ponomarov's coup. Right. Boris Nikolaevich Ponomarov has long been the face of the Komi Republic Socialist, yet he is not its true leader, a relatively unremarkable historian and party functionary the final years of Bukharina's Soviet Union. By sheer luck, he was able to flee the German invasion. With the collapse of the United Front in West Russia, Ponomarov had to once again abandon its comfort and headed to the newly established Komi Republic, a safe haven for political radicals and revolutionaries like him. Syktyvkar was able to come in contact with many supporters of the revolution, those who wanted to return to the ways of old before the glorious Union fell. As far away as that dream seemed, it still gained the support of Ponomarov, who was quickly entangled in the webs of the left wing of the Republic. One man who was particularly keen on including himself in these machinations was Mikhail Suslov, the puppet master. By propelling him to prominence in the party and securing him a position in the National Assembly as well as some degree of power, Suslov could enjoy Ponomarov's loyalty, who was satisfied with what he had. Now the socialists have finally made their move, and one of their loyal members has been expectedly assigned the position of Secretary General. As nothing more but a puppet of men pushing the strings, Ponomarov lacks real influence and merely remains a stronghold figurehead for the government and population, as well as a way for his allies to remain in the shadows. However, he is absolutely content with that. So we have critical instability. The effects of this will get worse and worse as more attempts on the government are made. So the idea is, the more the government's coup, the worse it gets. So I think we lost no, we still have a Clash of Shadows, never mind. But we lost, was it, a place for all of us. We'll go ahead and lock down Syktyvkar. The revolution against the previous government caught many by surprise and cast Syktyvkar into a state of absolute chaos, as well as destabilizing other urban centers throughout the Republic. While the capital itself is solidly under our control, we must recognize that the outlying rural areas could well be hosting remnant Republican army units and reactionary partisans. Thus, the President of the Komi Socialist Republic shall pass a decree limiting travel in and out of Syktyvkar until the current crisis has elapsed. So we'll go ahead and crack down on some instability. We got plenty of time. Our legitimacy is very high. So I think we'll be fine. Alright, I forget. I need to set where this unit is being deployed. Very beautiful. We'll get this guy back on. I don't know why you're the fucking field marshal over there. Let's get Nikolai Obslisten. A good comrade to the Union. Ooh. The right of Seas Community House. Komi's far right might not speak directly of a need of Lebensraum, but it clearly feels as though the seizure of more territory is an imperative for its survival. As the Republic teeters on its foundation, fascist groups have extended their reach throughout the city of Syktyvkar, carving out a safe haven for their brand of political activism. Another worrying showcase of how little the law seems to matter to some Syktyvkar's less savory members, far-right groups associated with Sergei Dabritsky's monarchist movement occupied a government-owned public housing block, ejecting members of a community and seemingly converting the establishment into a fascist stronghold. Armed paramilitaries stand guard around the clock. Nice choice of words there. Leaving the police seemingly powerless to take back for the citizenry. One can only guess what is taking place behind those walls, but the streams of rioters moving in and out of them suggest that the center is being used for training, coordination, propaganda, operations, and other such activities. It's always worrying to see far-right gain ground, but such aggressive moves suggest that the fascists are preparing for a crisis yet to come. The state cannot afford to ignore them for even a moment. Not very neighborly of them, to say the least. So that increases their influence a bit. Lock down Syktyvkar. will appear for party unity. The left in general has accumulated a reputation for internal fractionalism and bickering within the institutions. However, this is not the time for infighting. To consolidate the influence of the Republic of Komi, we must cast aside the particulars of our ideological interpretations for now and focus on an effective and constructive governance. The General Secretary, with backing from Premier Suslov, will pass a decree immediately banning factionalism and suspending political activity at outright sanction events until the duration of our current crisis is over. Leftist attacks reports. Alrighty, Brad. The capital of Komi was in complete lockdown ever since the tanks left their positions to take control of the city in the name of the left. No one could get in, and no one could get out. It was that simple, but the arrival of a small wave of refugees would complicate the situation. It's not just one large caravan, but many different ones, each coming from elsewhere. Where some are coming from the north, some from the south, and some from Moscovian. Initially, they met the loyal garrison of the left, situated in the periphery of Syktyvkar, to guard it from any possible incursions or threat. But of course, being in the middle of a coup, they were denied access, but some have resorted to more extreme means. With the only key points around the city guarded, there have been holes in the security of the lockdown. The refugees have used this advantage to their advantage. Sneaking under forest cover, jumping over fences and barriers, many have entered the capital, desperately seeking to find shelter. The military area does not seem to have us under control. What will the course of action be? Lock them in or let them out? We'll let them out, get a bigger increase to stab. So we have Komi. We have a nice new color. I like that color. I really do. I'll increase our legitimacy. There we go. Oh. That's a German Civil War, right? There we go. Surely the end of a Reich. It is thus necessary that the individual should finally come to realize that his own ego is of no importance in comparison with the existence of a nation. So it begins. By the way, I guess I forgot to. I don't know if I said this, because I think I didn't start recording. Heydrich was named the legitimate heir, apparently. I think it was Heydrich. It might have been Bormann. Bormann or Heydrich. Ooh. Perhaps our lack of action regarding Lee's refugees to ask for shelter in Syktyvkar has been a mistake. Several reports from the city outskirts have shown that, in the end, they were not innocent civilians. Apparently, many of them are affiliated with centrist and ready-to paramilitaries and insurgency groups, beyond to aid themselves in the effort to overthrow the recently established socialist government. Fuck. We believe that our forces have managed to secure the capital by defeating the vast majority of the enemy troops in battle and disarming them. However, some holdouts continue their operations, and these refugees have immediately moved to help them in their mission. This has evolved into a major crisis. So we are currently in the risk of completely losing control to resurging militias. We're considering the options we have right now. We shouldn't have been so merciful. So much for the neighborly socialism. Jesus, fuck. Let's find Zhdanov's connections. Andrei Zhdanov, the official leader of the Communist Party in Komi, who's been temporarily sidelined with Suslov's endorsement of Pomarov for provisional secretary status. The man is considered by many within the party to be eccentric, but he's nothing if not skilled and well-connected. In order to secure a rule, we must consult with Zhdanov in order to link up with his more unconventional allies and work together to save our republic. Ooh, okay. It had to be done. The Komi Republic was no longer under the control of shaky coalitions and government guaranteed to fall, but under the strong and wise leadership of the left. Thankfully for Boris Ponomarov, he was at its helm. Being the general secretary of a party, by extension, he could be considered the effective leader of Komi. However, many knew that, in reality, Suslov was a true puppet master, the 1 trillion control. Gathering the full trust and support of the entire left was not as easy as one may think. The movement had to face factions along its more powerful leaders. More specifically, Ponomarov considered the two largest factions he could approach in his search to stabilize his rule. One was the followers of Svetlana Bukharina, the daughter of former Soviet leader, that seemed to be asserting her position as actor and pen of Suslov. Every faction he could ally with were the supporters of Zhdanov. He seemed to be aiming for a socialist alternative and a significant following. Of course, he could stay far from both, but allying either one of them could give him the influence he needs. Bukharina should be indulged. She is too useful to waste. Yeah, we have critical legitimacy, and now it's extremely high. We'll crack down on instability. Chaos in Ostland, who'da thunk? Oh. For a long time, life in a very large portion of Russia has been defined by German terror bombing campaigns. An entire generation of Russians has grown up in blasted ruins, always watching the skies and ready to run to cover the moment the dark figures of the bombers themselves are spotted. An entire generation of government, whatever the ideology, has struggled with establishing infrastructure or an individual base of any kind. What little is built is often promptly destroyed. But not anymore. Millions of Russians have not had to make desperate runs to safety these days. Repairs to civilian and military infrastructure have progressed, but not been destroyed in turn. New constructions still stand, and a realization has dawned. The bombers have stopped. To those with access to information from outside, it's believed that the civil chaos now engulfing the hated Reich and its colonial extension, the Reich Commissariats, has rendered it impossible for their aerial efforts to continue. To those without it, it's believed by many to be a gift from God. Even as ordinary Russians speak with something approaching delirium, however, others speak of dark clouds on the horizons. The many Russian statelets no longer suffering paralysis at the bombs of the Germans are now free to look outwards. Only time will tell how they choose to proceed. Clear skies, dark clouds. Kasha disappears. Moscow autonomy. We'll see what happens with the German sovereign zone. Speidel in Germania. Franco-Burgundian War. First systems. Now is not the time for idealism. The bureaucracy of the old republic was crucial for keeping the basic functions online. The essential organ of a state continued to exist under a management maintaining a sort of bitter standoff with a new ruling party to ensure that we were capable of governing at all during and even after the revolution. Addressing the remaining government bureaucrats and reassuring them of our benevolent intentions is a course of action we must follow. We'll go ahead. Zhdanov was in his office when he heard of the rendezvous with the new figure of his country, Ponomarov. While he still had some reservations about him, he was still a leftist, and perhaps he could secure a position of power by supporting himself. A few hours later, the new General Secretary entered Zhdanov's office. Quickly, he got to the point of why he was there in the first place. I'm quite aware of the role he played in Vosnensky's democratic government some time ago, and I'm sure you gathered important lessons from that, as well as made some friendships with your former allies. For the good of the Republic, could you perhaps contact them and make some deals, remind them of earlier favors you'd done for them? We could use some more loyalty to the nation's army. Zhdanov looked hesitant at first, but quickly realized the opportunity this presented him. His reply was short. Of course, Comrade Ponomarov. I'll see what I can do for you. Minutes later, the Secretary General left, and Zhdanov quickly picked up the pace. He had a lot of convincing to do. This, of course, is not our first priority. We'll go with that. Expansion. Ooh. Hey, yo. It's rewind time. And it's also time to cut this video. Good timing on my part. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all that good stuff. If you like this video, go and leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more uploads every weekday. So as every Saturday, if you have any comments, feedback, concerns, anything of the sort, leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get and appreciate any and all feedback you might have for me. If you want to send feedbacks my way, I have a Patreon. If you want to chat, play games, I have a Discord. If you want us to see more of his stuff in the future, Twitch, all of which are down links below. Thank you as always for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been DB333, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.